How you doing, folks? So I'm just coming out into an area that we call the small orchard, which is behind the goat shed. And this small orchard made up of apples and cherries and also various different herbaceous plants, and berry bushes is below an area of forest garden. It needs a bit of weeding. We've got 2 rows running north to south. This row here is made up of sweet cherry, blackcurrant, comfrey, interplanted with some high pruned common alder and some hazel that haven't been coppiced yet, a birch. And then we've got a kind of grazing strip, silvopasture grazing strip, before another row, which is mostly apple and blackcurrant and comfrey. And as you can see, we've got a massive explosion of docks and nettle. Mowed, scythed this grazing strip a wee while ago, but it's not being used as a grazing strip anymore. We first designed this for the goats and realized that our grazing strips between the tree rows were too small, and then the chickens and geese have all been here over time. Currently there's no animals in here, and because of having the chickens in here and the soil getting quite disturbed, we've got this explosion of these docks. And there's a lot more sun getting in here now, because this used to be covered in trees, and we've changed that by removing some of the large trees, which of course this birch and high pruned alder, that's the remnants of that system. We've removed a lot of the trees and replanted with fruit trees. So I'm here today just to weed around the apples. You probably can't even see them, there's so many docks. So I'm gonna just put a time lapse on. I'm going to be using rice knife, Japanese serrated sickle, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely fallen in love with these tools. This is what we're going to be using today. Let's see how fast I can get this done. All right, pretty quick work and fantastic tool. This rice knife, serrated sickle, has done a really great job. Fantastic for the docks and sort of thicker stemmed perennials. Actually on the grass and on the buttercup, the blade gets tangled up quite a bit. But yeah, for the thicker things like the docks, it's great. So it'll be awesome for cutting down comfrey, which I will do. I've left it for now, but we'll use the comfrey in the same way that we're using the dock right now, which is a chop and drop. So the dock isn't in seed. We're trying to keep on top of cutting all the docks down before they even start thinking about making seed. So we're happy to throw that down on the ground, but we're ultimately trying to control the presence of docks here, because there's a little bit too much. But anyway, there you go. We can see our apples a lot more clearly now. I've left this birch, we've got comfrey and blackcurrants. So if we come down the row, it's semi-dwarf apple trees, so they're quite close together, but we'll keep them pruned with comfrey in between, and then a double row of blackcurrants on either side of this north-south row. We've got volunteer poplar coming up. We had poplars growing here, so we've got a lot of roots still in the ground, so they'll be growing back. So we're just going to be using them again as a sort of biomass plant to chop when we want to. There's no competition right now between this apple tree and this aspen, but eventually we might chop these down when they get a little bit too big and add them to the soil. We've got this mulch, got this carpet here because we are aiming to try and actually cultivate the soil, eventually get rid of the grass, and we're going to grow oats here maybe next year. Just a slow process of using carpets to get rid of the dominant species that are present here. I've left this strip because I'll use a scythe for that. That'll be quicker than using the hand tools. So there you go, just a quick demonstration of the type of work that we have to do at this time of year, looking after our agroforestry systems, forest garden tree rows, just making sure that all the light and airflow is getting to the young trees and nourishing the soil. See you guys later. Just gotta do this one next.